Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 7. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a fantastic day. I've been busy between episodes as usual, and I have found a way to properly ore double. So, there is a mod in this pack called Ftb Industrial Contraptions, and it's kind of a mashup of Industrial Craft and Buildcraft for you OG modded Minecraft players. But in this mod is the Macerator, or maybe it's pronounced Macerator. I think it's Macerator. Either way, this thing will actually double ores. So we've got ore chunks right here. And if we put these in, they will get crushed into dust. You can see 2 dust from each chunk, which you can then smelt into a full ingot. So essentially what this lets us do is take advantage of both Fortune 3 and ore doubling on top of that, which is fantastic. This was what I was hoping to do with the crusher from Mechanism, but this is a very easy way to do it. So works out pretty well. These do use their own power source. I think it's called Zaps. I think that's actually the name of the power source. They're Zaps. But basic generator, this thing produces enough that... excuse me. This thing produces enough that it can power 2 of these with an upgrade on them as well. And it'll work just fine. Now, you may notice this is all the modium. That's another thing I've done between episodes. Took me a while, but I managed to find a fair amount of all the modium ore, which can be used for all sorts of good things. So I got 26 ingots here, and then 20 more dust, which I will smelt into ingots. This spawns only in mountainous biomes. Not extreme hills, but like mountains. So in order to do that, in order to find those biomes, I crafted a nature's compass. This thing's pretty easy to make, and what it lets you do is find a biome. So say I want to find a mesa, or whatever. That's not a good example, because it's not actually called mesa. But basically, I can search for whatever I want and find it. In this case, I was searching for peaks. Frozen peaks, howling peaks, jagged peaks, stony peaks. And you just choose one of those, and then it'll show you which direction you gotta go. Looks like that way. And you can see in the upper left, it'll tell you the distance as well. So made it pretty easy to find what I was looking for, but I had to travel all the way over here to find a decent amount of the ore. I checked, naturally, when I was looking at these peaks, I searched all 3 of these in order, and the Stony Peaks was the first one where I actually found like a reasonable amount of ore. I think I found like 2 pieces of ore in the Howling Peaks, none in the Frozen, none in the Jaggeds. The problem is that these biomes, at least in this particular seed, are not very big. Like, this is the whole biome, basically, right here, and then kind of going off over here as well. And there's just not... It's a very rare ore, so... Yeah, it took me a while, but I did find enough to do what I wanted to do, which was... I want to be able to make the builder from RF Tools, which requires 4 all the modium nuggets, and I want to get some decent armor. I'm still rocking this compressed iron stuff, which is okay, but it's not that great. What I really want is all the modium armor. This stuff is awesome. It is indestructible, so you never have to worry about it breaking. And on top of that, it is better armor than even netherite, like the actual amount of protection it gives you. And also, it has additional abilities. So if you wear the boots, you will take no fall damage, not just feather falling, but straight up no fall damage at all. The legs don't do anything special. They all of these make piglins become neutral to you as well. The chest plate makes you immune to fire and lava damage, and the helmet gives you water breathing. So they kind of have some of the enchantments or better versions of them, I guess, just sort of built in. And we can put this on, and this will make us much, much, much harder to kill than previously. So that'll be good. And then you can actually even upgrade this as well with some more advanced materials that we'll get later. So all in all, not too bad. Now, the other thing I'm doing is down here, I am currently smelting up a bunch of coal and turning it into graphite. And graphite is used... Do I have this configured properly? Yeah, input top, output... Why are you not... I guess it doesn't... I guess it doesn't automatically... Oh, wait. Auto sort. I thought you could make this thing, like, automatically suck stuff up. Eject on. I might need to run pipes, but that's fine. Either way, I'm smelting up a bunch of coal, turning it into graphite ingots, and this is going to be used for our big project today, which is making a bigger reactor so that we actually have essentially all the power that we'll need for a while, which is great. That's going to be fantastic. It'll give us enough, hopefully, to power our quarry and do a bunch of other stuff, too. So that'll be great. And I used the macerators over here to double all of my lead, because we're going to need 64 lead blocks for this project as well. So I'm excited. I have a bunch of things to smelt up and all that kind of good stuff before we can really get things going, but I will let you know as soon as that's done. Well, after a bunch of smelting and crafting and a little bit of digging, I think I am ready to go ahead and make this reactor. So we're going to put it right over here. This is going to be the spot. And what we need to do first is just lay down some reactor casings. I hope I have enough, but we're going to go with a 7x7 base, like this. And then I'm just going to put another layer on top around the edges right here first, so we can figure out where our stuff is going to go. Okay. So that's the size of the reactor. It'll be 7x7. And then I'm going to take 4 of these reactor fuel rods and put them like this. And then we're going to take lead blocks and surround everything like this. So as far as power output goes, this isn't going to be the most powerful reactor that we could fit in in this size, but I wanted to balance both fuel efficiency and power. So if all goes according to plan, I tested this in a creative testing world first. This thing should produce about 15,000 FE per tick. I keep wanting to say RF per tick, but it's FE now. And it should have a pretty reasonable rate of fuel consumption as well, because we're using lead blocks, which aren't the best insulator. Like, there are better blocks for this, but lead is probably the best one that's in this pack that's, like, relatively affordable. Eventually, way down the road, when we're much farther in the mod pack, we'll probably want to go with Resonant Ender. There is no gelid cryothium, for those of you who are familiar with, older modded Minecraft, back in the days when big reactors, it was basically build reactor filled with cryothium. That's not a thing in this pack. The best insulator that we have is Resonant Ender, but I really don't have a way to get that in massive quantities right now. So, for now, we're going with lead. We could also use a few other different types of blocks, but this is not one of them. Okay, so there's our reactor. Now, you'll notice it isn't actually anything right now, and that's because it needs a few other things. So first, we want to put in a reactor terminal, and now you can see the texture changes into this big old multi-block, and we'll have this little kind of UI. But right now, this is useless because it doesn't actually do anything. So we need to put a power tap on here. And then I think here and here, we're going to put in 2 of these access ports. And what these are used is input and output of fuel. So there we go. And then this is essentially the reactor finished. I wanted to leave myself some space back here so I can get up there and do stuff if absolutely necessary, but we should be good. Let me just put... Can I put a torch on this thing? Well, it won't mess up the multi-block, right? No, we can totally do that. Okay, cool. So there we go. And then we'll just wall that off so it's not visible. Okay, so let's give this thing a test drive and see what kind of numbers we're getting. Looks like I need to sleep real quick. There we go. And let's just see if we take a bit of uranium here, and then let's actually grab 2 chests as well. And I'll show you how this will work. So in older versions, in big reactors, you could just right-click and put in stuff manually. You can't do that in this, so we're going to need 2 chests. And then we will need some logistical transporters, which are item pipes, essentially. And then we want to configure this to take from the chest and this to take from the reactor. And then if we throw a uranium ingot in here, this thing will start filling up, as you can see. And now, if I activate this thing, we should see what kind of efficiency we're getting. So, running at full power... There we go, just over 15,000 RF per tick, or FE per tick, or however you want to say it. They're the same measurement, they just changed the name for, like, no apparent reason. But anyway, 15,000 RF per tick, and using only 1.3 millibuckets per tick of fuel, which is honestly pretty good for a 15,000 kilowatt, or, you know, for a reactor that's producing this much power. Now, yeah, we could get it better if we had other materials to insulate with better, and this will get upgraded down the road. But for now, this will absolutely serve our needs. And then any waste will go out here and just end up in this chest. And we can do stuff with this cyanite later, but for now, it's essentially just waste. So there we go. That is our big reactor. Now, we do want to hook this thing up to our power network. And that is the next thing we need to tackle. So in order to sort out our power network, I want to use the mod POWAH. It's a mod I've never used before. But in this mod, there's some really cool stuff, including Ender cells. These are essentially these energy cubes. They're basically like this, except for, I believe they can transmit that power wirelessly to each other and through dimensions as well. So it's kind of the perfect solution for setting up an energy network if this is going to be our main power source. Because this thing, 15,000 RF per tick, like, to put that into perspective, that's something like 360 of these magmatic dynamos. So, like, this is going to be our main power source for a while. But in order to craft the ender cells, we need to go up to a blazing ender cell, which means we got to do some other stuff. Because if you look at these, there's different, like, progressions. They're like different levels, right? You got your basic, then your hardened, and so on. The hardened only does 10 RF per tick, or 10 FE per tick, and this generator, this reactor, is going to produce 15,000. So we need to go up to the blazing, and that means we got to do some special crafting. So let's try this out. I think I've got all the stuff I need to give this a go. So let's just grab a universal cable here. I'll just run this off like here, and then I'm just going to put these energizing rods down, And we'll put this guy here. Now, I believe we need a wrench, and hopefully this will work. Nope. I guess we need this wrench. We're going to need the... Every mod needs to have its own wrench. It drives me crazy. Anyway, it's fine. Let's just go do. And there we go. We have the wrench from POWAH. And then while I'm over here, let's also just grab what's left of my dielectric paste. Okay. So, I believe we take this wrench, if I've read the manual correctly, we right-click on this. No? Aha! There we go. You shift right-click on the orb, and that should do it. Okay. So now, what we need to do is I want to upgrade these rods first. So we got to make some hardened capacitors. And the way that we do this, we need energized steel, which you get from putting gold and iron ingots into this energizer thingy. So let's just grab some gold and some iron. Hopefully two rods will be enough, but I guess we'll find out. We should probably turn on the reactor. And then if I put you in and you in, there we go. Okay. So that's how you do it. You just let it go boop. And you can see it does the thing, which is pretty cool. Now, we need 8 of these in order to upgrade to the hardened energizer rods. The thing is, in order to make a blazing ender cell, I'm going to need an ender core, which is 50,000 RF, which isn't like ridiculous, but it's a fair amount. And I'm going to need blazing crystals, which you get by energizing... How did you make these again? Oh, here we go. Blaze powder or blaze rods. 90,000. So I want to have like a reasonably good size. I want these things to be like relatively powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and make some of these hardened rods, and that's probably as high as I need to go. I don't feel the need to go up to blazing on these rods, but that should be fine. I may need to go to the nether to get more blaze rods. How am I doing there? I got 3. Yeah, so I'll have to go to the nether to get more blaze rods, but that's fine. I know where a nether fortress is, and I do have the jetpack, so I can get there pretty easily. But yeah, this is kind of the progression. I'm going to start working my way towards the ender cells, and hopefully we'll be able to do some cool things with those. Okay, my friends, I think I am ready to give this a go. So all I need is a little bit of obsidian. Had no problems crafting up these different components. And we should just be able to make 2 of these blazing energy cells. Now, these guys are the wireless power transfer. So what we're going to do is get rid of this stuff temporarily. It would be faster to use a wrench, but yeah, then I'd have to take out the wrench, so I'm not going to do that. And we'll just put this guy right here. So if I turn this on, this thing should start, let's see, backside receive. Okay. Redstone ignore. Why are you not getting power? Do I need to... Will it not take it directly from that? Like, do I need to put down a cable here? No? Maybe it's just a matter of there's nothing else on the network right now. So let's put one down here. And then let me put one here, I guess. And let's just see, 40,000 RF per tick. We want to go up, off. Okay, so this lets me do all of them at once. So we'll say receive extract from here. And then do I need to configure this in some way? Like, do I need to smart wrench it or anything? No? I thought this should be working, but it's saying 0 FE, so I'm not entirely sure what the deal is here. It is connected to power. We are producing power. It's right next to a power tap. So I don't know what the deal is with this. Do I have... Maybe I need to specifically use... maybe I need to use energy cables specifically from POWAH? I don't know. Let me look into this and see if I can figure out what's wrong. Aha! As with many things, the problem can be solved by reading the manual. You can add capacity to a selected channel by shift-clicking an energy cell or battery to the Ender Cell UI. So that's what I need to do. So we need to get ourselves a blazing energy cell, I think. I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't actually say specifically. If we look, yeah, it doesn't specifically say what the capacity requirements are, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say I probably need blazing. Now, these things are kind of a pain to craft. I'm going to need more of these blazing crystals and blazing capacitors, but then I also need, for each blazing energy cell, 2 of the previous version, which require 2 of the previous version. So, going to be kind of a pain to craft, but should be doable. Okay, so I decided to go with batteries as they are significantly cheaper to craft than the cells. So hopefully this will work. I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's go ahead and break this stuff again. There we go. And we'll throw down one of our blazing ender cells. And then if you... It says shift click. Aha! There you go. Okay, so now this thing appears to be working. Now, the question is, will this automatically... Okay, great. That's what I was hoping. So, looks like we do not need a new battery for every single ender cell. We just need it for the initial one. So you can see this thing is filling up. It is, you know, sending power out and all that kind of good stuff. So if I get rid of this tank, right, these things will essentially stop working. But this thing should, I would think this would be filling up much faster now. It's still filling. I mean, to be fair, this thing does hold a ridiculous, it's an elite energy cube. It does hold a stupid amount of power, so. Although, then again, these cables right here are also not particularly... Let's set all of them to receive extract. And just see... Oh, and now it's full. Okay. So, if I toss this guy in here, it's not even going down. This thing is just filling up, no problem. Sweet. And then I can use this battery to power like to refill like my jetpack or any other tools that I may need. So that's pretty fantastic. This is great. Okay. So we now have wireless power capabilities, which means I can make one more of these ender cells right here. Oh, this thing is now going down. Probably because I'm dumping a ton of power into this battery, if I had to make a guess. But that's fine. Yeah, so now what I should be able to do is create my quarry wherever I want and just make it one more of these blazing ender cells and get power over there really easily without having to worry about wires or cables or anything like that. But I do think the quarry is going to have to wait for another day because we are out of time for this episode. And honestly, I'm very happy with our progress today. We got our big reactor up and running. We got all the modium armor, and we got a wireless energy transfer system fully operational. So we got a lot done, and I'm going to leave it at that. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.